Hello, viewers. Welcome to online classes day 12th. In last class, whatever we learned, let us recapitulate them. So, in last class, we discussed about the absorption of digested food material after completion digestion. Whatever liquefied food material is produced, in what way it will be absorbed into body fluids. So all the things we learned in last class, so that is absorption of digested food material and later absorption of lipids in the special heading, the lipid absorption as complicated manner. So under special heading we discussed about absorption of lipids and assimilation process and deification phenomena and their control. All these things we completed. Let us we are going to learn about a new topic in our curriculum, that is regulation of digestion. So the digestion is a complex process. It starts from ingestion onward, defecation, and various parts of our alimentary canal involves in this process as a coordination process. So the entire coordination is mediated by two units mediates the entire regulation of the digestion. So the regulation of digestion, the coordination of all parts, physiological functions of all parts of our digestive system regulated as two methods. One is neural regulation and another one is hormonal regulation. So remember students, the regulation of digestion achieved by neural regulation and hormonal regulation. Right, next, the neural regulation, of course, by sight, by sensitizing the smell, by tasting the food, the secretion of saliva results. The salivary gland secretes saliva into our oral cavity. So that is a unconditional reflexes. Okay, some unconditional reflex actions and some other reflex actions also mediated by the neural network. That is neural regulation. So the neural regulation may be voluntary, may be involuntary, whatever it may be. So the involuntary activity is mediated by mainly two kinds of networks, that is extrinsic pathway and second one is intrinsic pathway. So the extrinsic pathway, one more information, the intrinsic pathway also called as enteric neural system. Followed students? So the intrinsic pathway also named as enteric neural system. Now we will learn about extrinsic pathway. What is extrinsic pathway? What are present in extrinsic pathway? So the extrinsic pathway is nothing but the neural network allocated on the surface of the parts of alimentary canal. So the extrinsic pathway include sympathetic neural network and as well as parasympathetic neural network. These two are comes under extrinsic pathway. Intrinsic pathway nothing but it is completely the network allocated in the deeper parts of the alimentary canal. So that is comes under intrinsic pathway. The intrinsic pathway include Arbox plexus. The Arbox plexus already we learned. It is a neural network that associated with the muscle layer of the gut. So that is Arbox plexus. And next one more, and Meissner's plexus. The Meissner's plexus associated with submucosa of the gut. Followed. So already these things we finished. Arbox plexus and Meissner's plexus. The Arbox plexus consent to sympathetic neural network and Meissner plexus concerned to parasympathetic network. So you observe the Arbox plexus concerned to sympathetic neural network and Meissner's plexus concerned to parasympathetic neural network, but their allocation is different location in the gut, right? So this is neural regulation that mediates the digestion, right? Next, hormonal regulation. If we observe hormonal regulation, various kinds of gastrointestinal hormones, some are local hormones are there, and some hormones are secreted from other regions. So the hormones that are secreted from the wall of intestine, wall of alimentary canal, called gastrointestinal hormones. Followed, right? Gastrointestinal hormones. These gastrointestinal hormones secreted from the wall of gut and released into blood. Through the blood, they reaches the certain target organs, certain glands, specific glands, and stimulates them and allows secretion of such glands. Followed. So that is the function of the gastrointestinal hormone. So remember students, the gastrointestinal hormone first released into blood. Through the blood, they reaches the target organs. Through the blood, they reaches the target gland, and afterwards they acts on the target glands and activates them and allows their secretion and mediates the digestion process. That is the path followed. Right. Let's see what are gastrointestinal hormones that involved in regulation of digestion. So there are various kinds of gastrointestinal hormone involved in this mechanism. So among them, first one you observe gastrin hormone. Right. Next, enterogastrin, also called as gastrin inhibitory peptide hormone. Right. Next, third one, secretin, and fourth one, cholecystokinin. Otherwise, it also called pancreogymin. Followed. Right. Next, duocrinin, and next enterocrinin and villicrinin and pancreatic polypeptide hormone. And next, these are the all hormones so that mediates the uh, digestion. Followed. So once again we will recapitulate them. The gastrointestinal hormones that mediates digestion process are gastrin, enterogastrin, secretin, cholecystokinin, and duocrinin, enterocrinin, villicrinin, pancreatic polypeptide hormone. A lot, right? In detail, we will discuss their regulation and their role, their involvement. So, first about gastrin hormone, right? So, the gastrin hormone, you observe the visual stomach. The inner lining of the stomach is mucosa. So, if we observe the mucosa lining of stomach, the invagination of mucosa lining gave rise the microscopic tubular flask-shaped glands they called gastric glands. Already we learned about the organization of the gastric glands in previous classes, in earlier classes. The gastric glands contain one variant of cell, G cell. Remember, the gastric glands include G cells. Such G cells are endocrine cells. Such G cells secretes gastrin hormone into the blood. Through the blood, the gastrin hormone reaches again into the wall of the stomach and acts on gastric glands. So that is the path of action. So the gastrin hormone secreted by G cells and stimulates the gastric glands of the stomach, by which what happens, the gastric glands stimulated and allows gastric juice secretion into the stomach. Followed. So, and as well as it enhances the gastric mobility. So, it enhances journey movement, it enhances the peristaltic movement, by which it propagates the mechanical digestion and as well as proper chemical digestion also. Followed. Right. Next, with this we completed the influence of gastrin hormone. You observe this visual. In what way the gastrin hormone function? You see this visual, the gastrin hormone releasing from the G cells of gastric gland, and then again it going to function on gastric glands and allows secretion of gastric juice and allows motility and allows the bolus into the stomach also. Followed. So with this influence of gastrin hormone completed, next you observe one more hormone, that is enterogastrin. It also called gastrin inhibitory peptide hormone. Remember, GIP, inhibitory peptide, gastrin inhibitory peptide. So the earlier one, stimulatory effect. You observe it is inhibitory. It is secreted by epithelial lining of the duodenum. So U-shaped tube is present in small intestine. That U-shaped tube is the first part, proximal part of small intestine, duodenum. The mucosal lining of the duodenum secretes the enterocrinin hormone, that is also called as gastric inhibitory peptide hormone. So it inhibits the gastric glands and inhibits the gastric juice secretion and slow down the gastric mobility. So it is completes its effect is complete converse to gastrin hormone. Gastrin hormone increases the mobility, but here the enterogastrin hormone slow downs the gastric mobility. Complete converse effect that stimulates the gastric gland, allows secretion, but these are inhibits the gastric gland, inhibits the stops the gastric juice secretion. For example, in our stomach, for example, HCl level increased at that time, it may causes the gastric ulcers. So to avoid such conditions, such type of coordination, this type of coordination required. So it shows counter effect on gastrin hormone. So enterogastrin hormone and gastrin hormone both are uh, converse hormones. Followed. Right. Next, one more hormone, secretin. It is also secreted by duodenal epithelium. You remember, this is very very important. It is the first hormone that discovered by scientists. Followed. It is the first hormone that coined by the scientist, and it stimulates acinar cells of the pancreas. If we observe pancreas in earlier classes, we learned that the pancreas contains two portions. One is exocrine portion and endocrine portion. The exocrine portion lobes are called acini lobes. That acini lobes are constructed with group of acinar cells. The acinar cell secretes pancreatic juice. So secretin stimulates the acinar cells. So its target organ, acinar cells of pancreas. Follow student. Right. Next, what is the function of secretin? It allows the secretion of bicarbonate ions, not enzymes. Remember. Got it? Right. Allows the secretion of bicarbonate ions, not enzymes. Only allows secretion of bicarbonate ions, whatever one component uh, in the pancreatic juice. Followed. And next, inhibits the gastric secretion. It stops the gastric gland secretion. Right. That is influence of secretin. So once again, the secretin hormone released from the wall of duodenum into blood, and it is first coined hormone. and target organ acinar cells of the pancreas, and allows the secretion of bicarbonate ions that present under pancreatic juice. It inhibits the gastric secretion. Correct? Right. Next, you observe this visual. So this is secretin hormone. The secretin hormone released from pink color layer, you observe mucosa lining of the duodenum, and going to stops the secretion of gastric juice. Right. Next, one more gastrointestinal hormone, that is cholecystokinin, also called as pancreogymin. Right? Right. Cholecystokinin, also called as pancreogymin. It is also secreted by epithelial lining of small intestine from duodenum onward up to jejunum. The mucosa lining duodenum, like jejunum, ileum up to ileum, the mucosa lining secretes the cholecystokinin, pancreogymin. Got it? Right. Next, it acts on gallbladder. Actually, cholecystokinin, it also called pancreogymin. Chole means gall, pancreo means pancreas, gymin means enzyme. Okay, so cystic duct also there associated with gallbladder. Cholecystokinin or pancreogymin, it acts on gallbladder and as well as acinar cells of pancreas. So two target organs are there. One is gallbladder and another one acini lobes of pancreas. Follow students. Next, it stimulates the contraction of gallbladder. Already we learned that gallbladder is a muscular sac. The wall of gallbladder include smooth muscles. So this cholecystokinin hormone stimulates them, increases the contractions. By the on contraction of the gallbladder, from the gallbladder, bile juice pushed into the duodenum. So it allows the secretion of bile juice. That is one function. And next, another one, it allows the secretion of bile juice, and another one, it stimulates the acinar cells of pancreas. Acinar cells are part of what? Pancreas, under acini lobes. So it also stimulates the acinar cells of pancreas. The acinar cells are responsible for what activity? The acinar cells are secretes pancreatic juice, isn't it? So this hormone stimulates them and allows the secretion of digestive enzymes that present in pancreatic juice. Alright. So promotes the secretion of digestive enzymes of pancreatic juice. Got it? Right, students, once again, the cholecystokinin hormone released from the mucosa lining of epithelium. It acts on both gallbladder and as well as pancreas. It promotes the contraction of the gallbladder and allows the secretion of bile juice into duodenum. And next, it also stimulates the acinar cells and allows the secretion of digestive enzymes present in the pancreatic juice. Got it? Right. Next, the subsequent gastrointestinal hormone. Before going to learn, you observe this visual. So the cholecystokinin activity, this visual represents cholecystokinin activity. Clearly you observe the cholecystokinin released from mucosa lining and going to act on gallbladder and allows the secretion of bile juice. And one more path, it going to act on acinar cells of pancreas and next allows the digestive enzymes into the duodenum. Alright, so this is cholecystokinin and pancreogymin effect. Alright, right, next duocrinin, one more hormone, same release from mucosa lining of the duodenum, acts on Brunner's glands of intestine. Already we discussed Brunner's glands. The Brunner's glands are present in microscopic gland. They seated in submucosa duodenum. So the Brunner glands, on action of duocrinin hormone, the Brunner gland secretes the mucus into the gut. Alert. Allows secretion of mucus. What is the use of mucus? Mucus forms a lining. It forms a protective layer along the inner lining of the alimentary canal that prevents the action of our digestive enzymes on our alimentary canal. So with this we completed duocrinin, and next enterocrinin. Enterocrinin also secreted from epithelium of small intestine, acts on crypts of Lieberkühn. Crypts of Lieberkühn, also called as succus entericus glands, intestinal glands, very important. Already we learned crypts of Lieberkühn present in the wall of the small intestine, produced by the invagination of mucosa lining. So the enterocrinin acts on crypts of Lieberkühn. Okay, followed. Right. Next, they stimulates crypts of Lieberkühn. They activates crypts of Lieberkühn and allows the secretion of intestinal juice, succus entericus juice, into small intestine, which plays a major role in final digestion. Various kinds of digestive enzymes are present in intestinal juice. So such succus enterica juice secretion completely mediated under control of enterocrinin hormone. Followed states. So that is enterocrinin influence. So next, last and final hormone, villicrinin. The villicrinin hormone also released from the epithelium of small intestine, and next it acts on villi of small intestine. What are villi? The villi are nothing but the finger-like projections. The finger-like projections that produced into lumen of the intestine from wall of small intestine, they called villi. They increases area of absorption surface and promotes the absorption. So the villicrinin activates the villi, by which what happens, the muscular contraction of the villi increases, accelerates the movement of the villi. So it accelerates the movement of villi, by which it promotes absorption. The absorption of digested food increased, enhanced by the action of villicrinin, by which ultimately what happens, the roughage will be remained, roughage will be produced. That roughage will be enter into large intestine for what purpose? Defecation purpose. So all these are different kinds of gastrointestinal hormones that regulates the eh, that regulates and controls, coordinates the activity of various glands and allows their secretion according to require according to requirement. If food material is available in the duodenum, lipid material is available in the duodenum, then only bile juice required. So at that time cholecystokinin to be secretes and promotes the gallbladder. Like that, it controls and coordinates the digestive glands and allows their secretion and regulates the physiology of digestion, mechanism of digestion. So with this, we completed a regulation of digestion. So before complete, so one more hormone you observe, pancreatic polypeptide hormone. It is the pancreatic polypeptide hormone secreted by F cells. Red color cells are there. This is islets of Langerhans of pancreas. It is endocrine part, of course. Already uh, we discussed earlier classes islets of Langerhans. The red color cells are there. They are F cells. That F cells of islets of Langerhans secretes the pancreatic polypeptide hormone, acts on acini lobes of pancreas, and regulates the pancreatic secretion. It inhibits the secretion of pancreatic juice. So it inhibits the secretion of pancreatic juice. Pancreatic polypeptide shows counter effect on acini lobes. It inhibits the secretion of pancreatic juice. So with this we completed role of gastrointestinal hormones on physiology of digestion. Thank you.